Transportation Committee's meeting. Um,
There's an echo.
am I echoing?
Yes.
Hold on. Is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone hears me, no echo, right? Thumbs up, please. Thank you. Okay, so again, thank you for joining Public Safety Transportation November.
It's still something wrong.
Ms. Martinez, you sure it's not your phone?
I'm not on. I'm on. I don't know if it's me. I'm gonna log
Ms.
off.
Martinez, you're in the meeting twice. That's maybe why it's an echo. You're in under unverified, then you're in under your email.
Oh, because it took me out. I'll get out and come back. Let me log out.
You just gotta close one window. Okay, she closed one window, Miss Aluo.
Okay, thank you again for everyone joining the meeting for the Public Safety Transportation Committee for November. This will be in a short, we have a short agenda. Hopefully both 67 Detective Skinner and the representative from Transportation Enforcement are here. So what I would like to do is I would like to call the meeting to order, and let's do roll call. Starting with phone number 718 that ends with an 888.
Committee member Kathy LaRue.
Thank you. Gabriel Holmes.
Board member Gabriel Holmes.
Thank you so much. Ms. Martinez.
Committee member Hazel Martinez.
Thank you. Mr. Tate.
Good evening, committee member George Tate.
Ms. Sylvester.
Good morning. Good evening. Board member. Yeah, it's been a long day.
Thank you. Ms. Johnson or Mr. Johnson? I just wanted to make sure.
It's Miss Johnson, it's Disa Johnson.
Okay. And you are a board member, committee member?
A member.
Thank you so much. Ms. Leone?
Good evening, Leone Logan, committee member.
Ms. Martinez?
Oh, you called me already.
Okay, I'm just seeing it twice then. Gabriel Holmes?
I heard. Wait, is Gabriel Herrera also on this?
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't write my last name. Gabriel Herrera, committee member. I'm here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then Miss Monica Brown.
Not too many of us, Gabe.
Monica McKeon Brown, committee member. Good evening, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Did I miss anyone? Miss Nadine, Miss Lyons, can you do me a favor? Can you please reach out to Detective Skinner and the Transportation Enforcement to see whether they will be attending tonight's meeting? In regards to
I just spoke with Detective Skinner. He's coming in.
Okay. And chairman's report, I just hold on one second, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry about that. So, like, I wanted to say, in regards to the chairman's report, there really isn't the only thing that really is going on still. There's still no update in regards to the police involved shooting. We're still waiting to see the actual video footage from it. There's still nothing going on pertaining to any updates of what went wrong. In regards to the MTA's IBX Express project, I'm sharing my screen, and I just wanted to kind of give a better overview to all of the members in case if they're not aware of what's about to transpire. So right now they're in the process of doing their environmental stage review. So within this IBX Express project, this is what it's called is the Interborough Express that will provide transformative transportation that will connect Brooklyn to Queens. It will be using old existing rail corridors running through Bay Ridge to Jackson Heights. It will be the northern portion of Queens, which is 3 miles, and then the southern portion in Brooklyn, which is 11 miles. And as you can see from here, it will go from the Brooklyn Termini Arminal all the way to the last stop will be Roosevelt Avenue using the old existing rails. In the areas of how we are impacted, it's 3 stations that will be implemented into our neighborhood. So there's one that will be in the Flatbush Nostrand Avenue, another one in the Utica Avenue, the third one in on Remsen Avenue. So these are the 3 places of where we are impacted by this community, by this project. And so in their report that they have for their environmental, these are some of the these are what they are saying that they're going to be utilizing in this doing this project. So it's the Flatbush and Nostrand Avenue, the side of West Nostrand and the side of West Nostrand. The platforms will be shifted 70 feet west of Nostrand Avenue to accommodate vertical circulation. On the Utica, it will be on the west side of the Utica and above Utica Avenue, and then on the center east of and above Utica Avenue. This will better functionally due to geometric traffic alignments and elevator shaft locations. And then for the one on Remsen Avenue, it will be the south side and of and above Remsen Avenue, and then the center and north of and above Remsen Avenue to avoid building impacts. So on October 15th, they kicked off their environmental review process under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act. This process allows decision makers to consider the environmental effects of the proposed project, evaluate reasonable alternatives, and identify measures to mitigate significant adverse environmental effects. The MTA is the leading agency for the IBX project and made the preliminary determination that the proposed action is a type 1 under SEQRA. An environmental impact statement, EIS, will be prepared, in which they're looking for us as members to provide some questions in regards to how do we feel about this. So in this process, the first thing is that they held public meetings. They held 3 public meetings, one at Brooklyn College, another one at the Lutheran Hospital, and then they did 2 more via WebEx. Right from there, they are looking for us as a community board to draft some impact statements during these public hearings. And then what will happen next will be the final environmental impact statement and state findings. So they take whatever we have concerns are addressed pertaining to the 3 stations that will be implemented in here. Can you give me 1 second? So what is the scoping and what is it process? The process is to develop a written document that outlines the topics and analysis of potential environmental impact to be addressed in the environmental impact statement. What is the purpose? To ensure public participation in EIS process, encourage open discussions for issues of public concern, permit inclusion of relevant substantive public issues in the final written scope. What is in the drafting scope is the background, the history, the purpose, and the need statement, alternatives, environmental analysis and framework and scope, and the agency's coordination. I will also be dropping the draft inside the chat in the next 5 minutes. So these are all the technical resources that they are going to be using to evaluate this. And then these are the alternative ways that they can evaluate in the EIS process. In addition, so just so this, so everyone has a better understanding, what is included in this is the operations facility and the storage yard, the 19 proposed stations, the 16 proposed substations, the bridge, the structure, reconstruction, the relocation of existing fuel pipelines, installation of tunnel ventilation, and the repositioning of freight tracks to accommodate passenger rails. And that is it. So what I am asking from our community board is if there are questions pertaining to this project, the IBS project, if you can drop them into the chat so that I can input it into the review for the EIS. That will be greatly appreciated. Are there any questions pertaining to the IBX Express project? No questions?
Can I ask us, Hazel Martinez? I mean, I participated in a lot of these sessions that they have, and the last one I participated on Zoom. I mean, there were a lot of people who were actually opposed to this because, and one of the concerns that I've already sent to them is the fact the quality, the integrity of these stations right now, they're rusty. I mean, I worry about the vibration, especially the people who live on East 49th Street when they are doing whatever excavation they need to do. And plus the sessions they had, the community sessions they had before this, it was just going to be a platform, which was rather disappointing. Because I'd like to see something more in the site other than just a lonely platform.
I totally agree. I'm in agreement with you. I'm not too keen on this project, but as it seems, it's coming. And I think what we can do is look at the ways that we can have them do things that are beneficial for us pertaining to these 3 stations. Ms. Bennett?
Yes, good evening. I agree with Hazel on that, but also hours of operation, the time the train is going to be, this so-called train is going to be running. Also, as she stated, those stations, what they call the overpass, they're all dilapidated. They're rusted straight through. So there must, when we say, okay, we're going to help them, we're going to say, okay, there's something else coming with it. They're not telling us. It has to be, because there's no way you can put a light rail over those overpasses without it collapsing. They're rotten. So something else they're not telling us.
From what I understood from it is that they won't be using those rails. They'll be installing new rails next to it. They will not be using the existing rails. They're going to install new rails that are literally feet away from it.
But
what about the overpass?
Yeah, the structure that they have there to hold up those rails, that's what's rusting.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's rotten.
Yeah.
That means they're going to be building something.
Yes. So if you go here, let me go back to this screen. Over here where you see where it says the Flatbush, Utica, and Rumson, and I want you to pay attention of where they're doing it, where you see where it says the center of and above, they're going to be building on top of it. So that's why. And their reason for rationalizing this is to say for the one on Remsen is to avoid building impacts. For the one on Utica, it's either going to be in the center and it's above Utica Avenue, so it will be above street. And these are the reasons why they said that they have to do it that way.
And the other problem I see is that, especially at Remsen, every week a tractor trailer is stuck under it or hits it. And what's going to happen there?
I think these are all valid concerns, and I have no problem rewriting it and reiterating that we need to look more of other options because this is something that does happen. Miss Johnson.
Question I have is, when would this be in effect?
That from what I'm hearing, once they finish the environmental impact, they have to go with DOB to make sure, because another thing that does play a factor into this is the substations that they're doing with Con Edison, and how this will impact Remsen Avenue.
Oh, okay.
But they claim that has nothing to do with it. Con Ed claims that, so I don't know when asked.
When I asked these questions with DOT, with the MTA, it was first they were oblivious to the Con Ed, but then after reading the actual EIS there, the scoping, it mentions Con Ed and the substations in it.
But none of them claim to know anything.
Bills are going up so high too. One of the reasons.
Well, I'm not so worried at the moment because I know they don't have funding for all of this.
That may be true, but you never know. They have been investing a lot of money into this project, and we don't know who. We know it's our tax dollars, but when you look here of all the city agencies, I'm going to see if I could pull up the actual document. Because I had it open. So this is the document. There we go.
The other issue that I'm concerned about is, that once that comes here, homeowners that live here already will be harassed for their homes.
So when they were mentioning in regards to the actual project overview, they list every single agency and organization that will be involved in it. I'm trying to find it so that you guys can see it.
It's too small. Could you make it large?
No, I'm going to make it bigger. I promise. I'm just trying to find where they list every single agency, city agency, federal agency that will be involved in this process. Just bear with me. It's almost coming. Okay, so these are all the agencies that are involved. So as you can see, city planning, DOT, NYC, EDC. Then you have Parks is also involved, New York City's landmarks involved, DP, the Port Authority, New York State Historical Preservation, Environmental Conservations. Then you also see more of New York State Department of State, New York State Department of Transportation. Then you also see these are some of the federal agencies that also are interested or that are involved. The federal FTA, the Federal Highway Administration, the Federal Air Railroad Administration, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and then the Surface Transportation Board, and then also the Delaware Nation, the Delaware Tribe of Indians, the Chinook Indian Nation, and the Stockbridge Museum Community of Band of the Mohican Indians. So these are all of the potential investors that will be involved with this project. Any questions?
I just wanted to say, Martinez, how are we supposed to ask you, how are we supposed to contact you regarding your response, your whatever you have to submit?
I can send, what I will do is I can have Miss Nadine, I will draft an email and everyone can respond to that email that thread. And then I will gather and put everything together and then let everyone see what the scope of questions are pertaining to this project. And then everyone via email will kind of give me the heads up to say, yes, these are all the questions to submit on behalf of community for our for our committee.
Okay.
I'll work on that tonight. Also, we did get news from DOT pertaining to the expansions of the city bikes. I got a confirmation from them stating that they're no longer going to be using those plans and that next month they would like to present to us their new plans of the city bike expansions. And so just to let you guys be aware of that. And I will say that is all for my chairman's report.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Mr. Tate.
Yes, my hands has been up. Before
I'm so sorry.
My apologies, but before we get into the bike, can I make a comment? Because I really still wanted to ask a question on regarding the IBX.
Sure.
Okay? Yeah, because unfortunately I could not attend last week's meeting. I think they had the meeting on 11/20. But however, I have been involved with the meetings ever since the beginning, and every time we go to a meeting, they come up with something different. It keeps changing. But I do have a question regarding the Utica Avenue, because the chart that you showed, it says west of Utica and east of Utica Avenue.
Yes.
Does that mean that they're going to have two entrances? They're going to put
from my understanding, it's supposed to be two. So when you see here, this is there. Can you see it for the Utica Avenue?
I could see it, but this is not the chart that I was looking before. You have one that we could see better.
Okay, so I will show you the map.
Yeah.
No, this one. This one is better.
Yeah,
right?
This one is better.
Okay, so yeah, I had to cut and paste to put this all together for everyone. So you see where it says west side is where the platform will be. Then it says at the center. So from my understanding, it's supposed to be one side of an entrance because but I don't want to say, from what they told me it's one. So it's a one entrance. It's like going in, but then there's two separate sides to go. You can either go to the left and you go to the right. But I can double check. But they told me that it was one side. That's the reason why the center station, and if you see where the platform will be, and then you have where it says the center east of and above Utica Avenue. Now the question could be, could they do two where there's one in the center and one above it? Yes. I don't know, because when I asked them to kind of show us more, going into more details of what this will look like, they still haven't had the designs. They said that they were redoing the designs for both for all three, for Flatbush, Utica, and Rumson.
Okay, because if they do, well, either side would kind of affect businesses over there. The one on the east, I'll be more than happy for them to get rid of, because that's that abandoned the car wash that's been in use.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they will take care of that, and then they will be responsible for keeping the area clean. And
Yeah.
I assume what they would be doing, they would be doing like escalators over there.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I'm still a little confused when it says Center East, which
Mm-hmm.
which to me would imply that people would, and it also would be better for the community if they had entrance on both sides. Because Utica Avenue is a wide and busy street. So for safety purposes, it would be good if people didn't have to cross the street to go catch the train. You know, people coming from west could go into the west side, and vice versa. From the east, they could come in through the east side.
Yes. I'm in a total agreement. So again, my biggest concerns were, one of the questions that I did ask them is that for the Rumson Avenue, and then even for the Utica, because now we're seeing flooding, right?
Yes.
How does this impact the station? Then I also asked them in regards to Rumson. Rumson Avenue, right, has been seeing more brownouts more frequently now than they have before. So, like, how does this impact this? When I asked them in regards to the Con Edison, the impact on that. Then also when I spoke with DOT, because remember DOT wanted to do the expansion, and they're also doing the expansions behind to our other community board, and how this impacts our community board. Their answer was, you are asking great questions and we'll get back to you.
Yes. Okay. And the last thing is regarding, I don't know if anyone mentioned it, but that Con Edison grid that they're working over there, when you mentioned the different agencies that were working with
involved.
Yes, I didn't hear Con Edison, but I think that would be a big impact, because if they are both working at the same time, I don't know if they were working in conjunction with each other or what, but that's really, you have Con Edison affecting the community with this, and then you have IBM also. So it's something that we have to keep in mind.
I am in total agreement. So I will start the email trend, the thread. I keep on saying trend. The email thread, so that we can have a cohesive amount of questions, so that I can send back to the committee, but then also send back to IBX. But then I also want to send it to Anthony Drummond, the guy who kind of presented to us last month, to have him also kind of escalate these questions to see if he can get an answer also. So any other questions pertaining to the MTA IBX? Going once, going twice.
I just have Hazel Martinez.
Go right ahead, Ms. Martinez.
If I'm not mistaken, I think there's a deadline for this response.
Yeah, they originally they said the 26th, but they then extended it due to the fact that their public engagement was short, very last minute. So they extended it.
Oh, okay.
I was on top of that too. Anybody else? Okay, so that is the end for my chairman's report. I would like to pass it off to Detective Skinner. You're next.
Hey, good
And
evening,
I'll stop
everyone.
sharing.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Everybody hear me, right? I don't know why my computer. You
Yeah.
guys can hear me, right? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I think my volume is messed up. Good evening, everyone. Detective Skinner from Community Affairs. Got a short report tonight. I would like to say yesterday, I think it was a productive meeting at the Wyckoff House. I think a lot of the issues that are or the concerns in that area is normally brought up on this meeting, and I'm happy that Ms. Martinez was able to bring the other agencies there as well, so they can see what the other concerns was about. And I know DOT was on there as well, expressing explaining some of the responses and stuff like that. I have a short report. So for the 28-day period, as this is our jargon that we like to say, which is pretty much like within a month. So we are up in a shooting. It's 3 versus 2 this year. But it's actually 2. So we're actually at the same amount. The reason why we say we're up in 1 is because what happens is when we have a walk-in, as what we call it, in a hospital, if somebody walks into a hospital shot and they don't know the occurrence of it, we have to run with the investigation until we find out where the proper precinct, like location that it took place, and then they would take over. So we actually found out where that precinct was, and that command ended up taking over. So for robberies, we're up in robberies, and mainly the reason why we're up in robberies is because of the fact that a lot of these stores, it starts off as a petty larceny where somebody goes in and they'll steal something, and when they're approached by a worker or an employee, that's when they end up using force, with bumped up to a robbery. So we've been seeing a lot of petty larcenies that have been turning into robberies at some of these store locations. Felony assaults were down, burglaries were down, grand larcenies and stolen vehicles were actually up a little bit. One of the main reasons is, like I discussed the last time, these vehicles, people can hack these vehicles. A lot of times, people leave their cars running to run inside of a store, et cetera, et cetera. Grand larcenies is up, and it's funny, the reason why we have grand larcenies up is not because of scams, so to speak, but the reason why we're up in grand larceny because it has to do with motor vehicles. So one of the issues why we're up in grand larcenies, especially if you drive a Honda, the new Hondas and some other vehicles, like some of these Mercedes and BMWs, they have sensors that's in front of the vehicle, and it's in the it's located around like the emblem of the car. So what people are doing is, those sensors are like X amount of dollars at the dealership. So what they do is they end up stealing it from these vehicles. So mainly Hondas that they're targeting, and the reason why they're doing it, like I said before, is because of the fact that those sensors are so expensive. As far as vehicles, also, like with the vehicles being stolen, it's crazy as this may sound, but it's very rudimentary. But a preventative task is actually getting the club. You guys may laugh. That's the old school thing with the club. But these new car thieves, they're not looking for any type of thing that could stop them from stealing the vehicle. So like something as a club, they're not bringing like equipment to saw it off. They're going off of just hacking your key, getting the duplicate as far as like their mainframe, and hacking the car by getting into the car. But there has been a few cases. The reason why we're saying that is because there has been a few cases whereby they weren't able to get the vehicle because of the fact of having such an old school technology on it. So far, year to date, firearms that we recovered, we have 96. The precinct alone, we sold 516 vehicles, abandoned vehicles. And it's actually more, because for the month of November, year to date, I had mentioned it in the meeting yesterday, it's actually 163 vehicles they towed for the month. As far as like mopeds, illegal mopeds, unregistered mopeds, / scooters, we towed 295. And I know that was another topic again. We didn't have the what do you call it? I mentioned it before, but year to date, in that Clarendon Road corridor, that Ralph Avenue, Ditmas Avenue corridor, our traffic enforcement, they're still doing enforcement over there. I was actually talking to one of the traffic enforcement officers today, and he told me, he says, yeah, if he said so far for the year, he said we issued over 200 summonses over there for the year. So like I said, we're still out there, we're doing our thing, we're doing our work. Like I said, I know yesterday it was discussed that we will wait a few months to see, you know, for every agency to pretty much address whatever issues that was pertaining to them in that area, and we'll come back to the drawing board. That's it for me. If you guys have any questions, feel free. I'll try to answer as much as I can.
Any questions for Detective Skinner?
I don't know if you could see my hands, Miss Alawa.
I see it. I had to scroll down, but I see it.
Yes. Yeah, Detective Skinner. Yes. Just a quick clarification. 'Cause you mentioned that the Hondas, they have the sensor. What sensor were you referring to?
So the new sensors on the Honda, like the new Hondas, they have like it's like pretty much, you know, like the driving assist sensor that a lot of these new cars have, where let's say somebody runs in front of the car, it will like alert you.
Yeah.
These new Hondas, that's where they have the sensors. It's like in the emblem.
Okay, no, because my daughter have a Honda, so I just wanted to be clear, you know, when I explained to her, you know, what's happening. Okay, thank you. But another issue that I didn't want to bring it up yesterday because I was trying to restrain since basically the meeting was mostly for that area around there. But I see more and more people parking and blocking the sidewalks. And it's not only the mechanics or homeowners too, because even Albany Avenue, you walk on Albany Avenue, and a lot of time you have to walk in the street because they are parked instead of pulling in a little closer into their driveway, they just block the sidewalk. And this is happening throughout the area.
So it's funny as you say that, because I did see, I was talking to the QT Mount, I want to say maybe, I think it was the nighttime QT, maybe like 2 weeks ago, I want to say. And they actually were talking, they had a few 311 calls about blocking the sidewalk, and some of it was pertaining to that. So I don't know why people are doing that, what's the new trend now. But you know, when you see that, Mr. Tate, definitely call 311 or let us know so we can send somebody over. But it's something that definitely came up on 301 as far as the quality of life concern.
Yes. Okay, I'll do that because I know I have seen it. It seems like it's really getting out of hand now. Okay, thank you.
Not a problem.
Okay, Miss Bennett, and then Gabriel Holmes.
Hello, good evening, Detective Skinner. I want to know what can be done from the precinct's end in regards to these trucks up and down Kings Highway.
You have to give me some more. What do you mean the trucks? Are parked up or driving?
Yeah, the overnight storage. Because I know it's only 3 hours during the day, but after from 9 to 5 at night, they cannot be in any residential area. So what can the
I know.
precinct do?
So I know for sure that was a issue that was brought up from yesterday, and we actually asked you know, it was brought up of how come they don't see any traffic agents ticketing, and that was one of the things that was brought to the manager who was there yesterday. Like I said, when we get 301 calls, a lot of times if we show up there and the truck is there, they do issue the summons for the overnight parking.
Okay.
However, I mean, you know, it would be help if traffic can actually come by and help. I don't know how their deployment is. I mean, maybe you know better. Maybe you can help us.
Yes. I was helping today because you have a truck over opposite Nazareth High School. It has a mismatched plate to the registration. That plate does not match the registration. In fact, the New York State plates are missing.
Okay, is that for the trailer or for the truck itself?
No, that's for a truck. It's a box truck opposite
Okay.
Nazareth High School at East 57th Street.
Okay. Yeah, Ms. Bennett, a lot of these concerns that you brought up, this was brought up yesterday. So we already have, we're already
Yes.
working in motion.
Well, I wasn't there.
Okay. Well, see, somebody else was complaining.
No.
Mr. Holmes, you're next.
Hi, Detective Skinner. Thanks for joining us tonight. What happens when everybody gets a club in their car?
I don't know.
It gets
Maybe it'll go down.
I mean, I know that sounds facetious, but I mean, it just seems like it's a very sort of like
I said, it's a rudimentary thing. It's old school, but a lot of these new guys, when they steal cars, they're not looking for any type of obstacle.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a very tenable systemic
Now,
solution.
I'm not telling everyone to get a club. I'm just saying that's a
right. But I mean, if I get a club and the car next to me does, then I just like made it so that they'll go to the car next to me.
No, go in another area.
Well, it all depends on what kind of vehicle they're looking for. I mean, that's the other thing too. If you have a vehicle that they're looking for, these guys go after specific cars. Hondas have always been up there for years. You know, Nissans has always been up there for years. Toyotas. It depends what type of vehicle you drive and what they're looking for. Like lately, it's been the Dodges. A lot of these guys, they steal these Dodge Chargers because they have the fast engines in them. A lot of them, they steal. Some of them, they steal these BMWs because they have the fast engines in them. So it all depends on what vehicle you drive.
I mean,
these guys, when they go out, they're not just stealing random cars. They're going for specific vehicles.
Okay. Yeah. As long as they don't steal my my cousin's Hyundai. All right. Thanks.
So, Detective Skinner, is there something that maybe I won't say a seminar or maybe a workshop that could be done to kind of say, hey, these are some of the things, the preventative ways that you can do to prevent, or create a flyer or something? I think sometimes word of mouth helps, but sometimes things in writing can also help. Is that possible?
I would have to reach out to Order Larceny. The Order Larceny normally gives out the literature and stuff like that. I'd have to reach out to Order Larceny and see if they have anything. But usually, you know, when I don't want to plug it in there, but usually, you know, the community council meeting that we have every month, normally a lot of these concerns you'll see, like the pamphlet, the handout we have. There's education. They normally have stuff. You know, like you will speak to the CO in more depth. You will speak to your YCOs. You can speak to your Q teams. So, you know, when you come to the community council meeting, you know, you would sometimes they actually have certain people from certain agencies that will be there, or, you know, from certain units that would be there. So, you know, something that you guys should definitely come down to, that some of the concerns that you like, you may not get it here, but, you know, you may be able to express it there, you know?
Okay, and then the other question I do have is, I know with you saying with the robberies going on, are there particular time spans of where they're doing it? And then maybe increasing maybe some more on the feet, on the ground to kind of de-escalate?
The patrols are already there. Like I said, a lot of them, it turns out, is a petty larceny where they're going in to steal an item, and then they get approached by a store person to sell them, hey, give it back to me, and then they end up punching the person. That's how it escalates to robberies. So it really goes off as a petty larceny, but because of the fact that the person now turned it into force, that's when it turns up to. But we actually have our you know, in those areas, we have our foot posts in some of those areas.
Okay.
And it's not like a specific times. A lot of these things are random times, so to speak, sporadic times.
Got it. Miss Bennett?
No, I have to put my hand down, that's all. But what I was going to say is I appreciate him, but what I was going to say is a lot of those agents do not know how to write those particular summons. The nighttime one, yes, but the 3-hour storage one, they don't know. I'm telling you the truth. To everybody, they don't know.
Okay. Mr. Holmes, is your hand up again, or do
Yeah,
you
is
have
that
another
okay?
question?
Yeah, just I'm wondering if there's anything that stores can do to avoid those types of confrontation issues while still handling shoplifters, like panic buttons or anything like that.
I mean, listen, anytime those things happen, we always encourage the stores to call 911. But I get it's one of those things where by the time the police come, listen, you may call 911 and it may be 5 minutes for the police to come, but 5 minutes is a long time. Sometimes these store owners and sometimes these store people they approach because they're like, oh no, this person, or they constantly come in here. I'm not dealing with this today, and when they do decide to approach the person, that's when it gets
Well,
physical.
no, that's what I'm saying. Do you have like recommendations that you can provide to store owners so that you don't have to do that sort of confrontation?
Yeah, we tell them
Okay.
don't confront them. Like at the end of the day,
Right.
I know it's a loss, but it's property. Property you can take, you can replace. You can't replace you. We tell the store owners that all the time. Don't
Okay.
approach.
Okay. I mean, are they getting that message, or?
I don't know if everyone's taking that message.
Okay.
What
Thanks.
we could do is, Mr. Holmes, is reach out to the Commerce Committee and speak with them, and then maybe have them, because that's where a lot of the store owners are involved, and have them talk to them, maybe invite Detective Skinner or someone from Petty Larceny Department division to then go speak in that space. So I will reach out to Mr. Bakrodim in regards to that. Ms. Sylvester, I see your
I'd
hand
love
is
that.
up.
Thank you.
Yes, oh, thank you. So, I mean, so at least on Church Avenue, I think a lot of these business owners are doing as much as they can. I never in my life thought I would have to ask permission to buy toothpaste. Everything is locked up. Everything. I mean, the Walgreens at the corner of Utica and Church, if they have like Bounty on sale, and I'm like, oh, I thought Bounty was on sale. He was like, it is, but it's locked up behind the door, and so not even locked up on the shelf, but it's actually locked up behind the door. And as for, I've seen people, like one guy came up to me, he needed $5 to buy vanilla Oreos. And I just told him to put it back. If you don't have the money, put it back. That led to a slight confrontation. And so I don't think a lot of from what I can see, they're not really approaching them. It's almost as though the thieves know you really can't do much. Because again, I believe most of these businesses are covered with insurance. So they know you can't do too much. And I've seen them come in with almost like an IKEA bag ready to steal. And within, I would say, minutes, they're already out the door.
Well,
And
Mr. Vector,
so
the
how do you
one
change someone's behavior? Because they seem to know that nothing really happens. I mean, I think there was a whole story in the Times where I think it was a Target store where the new manager just kept track of the person who was stealing. And when it came up to be, I guess, a felony, that's when she said, okay, now we have him. And whatever happens with that case, I don't know. But apparently not until it reaches a certain amount of money, whether it's $1,000, does maybe something happen. But so I mean, I think business owners are doing as much, from what I can see, as much as they've locked up everything. You have to ring a bell and wait for someone to come and open. And then you look in the mirror and then look in the, you have to make a decision instead of you just kind of looking at the labels. So it's just changing the behavior of people who really don't care.
Which I totally agree. However, it's for them, for it to be a robbery. Remember, somebody's actually getting physically assaulted, so that's the reason why these are robberies. Like I said, it turns into them going in and stealing and whatever the case is. But when they get approached by someone, like I said, these are not just. I know you use that example of the Walgreens. That Walgreens we always have issues with because people go in there for that same particular reason and do the same thing. However, some of these stores, you have like a worker saying, "Hey, put that back," and that's when it gets physical. Now, I totally agree with you as far as changing the mentality. You know, if you steal something, we had a guy, I never forget it. It was on East New York and Rockaway Parkway. One of the NCOs, he locked this guy up 10 times because of the fact, and everything was a petty larceny because it didn't meet the dollar amount. He actually had an argument with the ADA. Can you put all of this together? Because it's 10 times that this guy is getting locked up for, and it's $500, $400, $300, $600, and it's different amounts. It was under 1,000, but he's like, when you add it up, it's over a grand larceny.
Right.
Oh no, it's still considered a petty larceny. So until the law changes on that, I mean, it's sad because all of these things been behind glass and plastic and gates and all this stuff ever since COVID.
Under lock and
COVID,
key. Under lock and key, where you have to actually ask permission. Excuse me, I know you're busy, but would you mind opening up the glass case for me to buy a toothbrush? I mean, like, nothing is off limits for stealing. Nothing.
And the thing is, you know, when we can look at these things and say, oh, it's a minor petty larceny. Oh, he just stole this. But eventually, when people get emboldened to constantly keep doing it, and they know when they get arrested, you know, when they go down to the courts, it's just a slap on the wrist, or the fact that, you know, there's whatever the ADA decides to do with it, you know, it of course they're gonna get even more emboldened now. Oh, nothing's gonna happen to me. Nothing's gonna happen, so I'm gonna steal more now. You know.
I mean, it's odd because years ago at the corner of Atlantic, even though it's not in our district, and corner of Atlantic and Court Street, this woman put so much stuff in her, I guess it was some kind of jacket or sweater, but the manager ran after her and all he could get was her sweater. So she just slipped out of the sweater and she was at the corner of Atlantic Avenue and Court Street with no bra on. And he said to her, look, when you come in with the police, then I'll give you your shirt back. So she just was just on Atlantic and Court Street with no bra on. And she had to go in because she just can't walk around like that. And really, that's how the police, but the stuff in her, the amount of stuff she had in the jacket was just so heavy that it was just falling out. And that's what happens. I don't know how you change the behavior of stealing, because I guess there's a market for it.
It is a market.
There must be a market for it.
There is a market for it because they're stealing and they're reselling it. Because, for example, there was that same Rite Aid Walgreens I was telling you about on Rockaway and East New York Avenue. A lot of the perpetrators was coming from the 7-7 and the 7-3. But what happened was they would sell it to these bodegas. They had a guy over there. They had a guy years ago over there by the Family Dollar over there on Farragut by the community board office, and he would walk right in and he would steal all the Ben and Jerry's ice creams. He got arrested. We asked him, we said, where are you selling? Like why do you have, like he said, I sell it to these bodegas.
Oh, so that's why when I take the subway, the 3 and 4 Eastern Parkway, there's usually a table there filled with Tide and cat litter and cat food. And I'm like, where did you get it? He was like, you're asking too many questions. So it's yeah, it's like Tide does not cost $5.
I do want to I do have one more question for you, Detective Skinner. Pertaining to these robberies and then some of these assaults, have you guys reached out to like the organizations like CAVI, God Battalions, in regards to maybe what they can kind of give in support to some of these store owners?
Well, the store owners, we have our crime prevention officer, Officer Palmers. He goes out, he does a survey. He also does outreach, and then we also have our crime, CVAP. CVAP mainly deals with physical victims, but CVAP also could kind of guide some of these store owners what they do. But I'm gonna be honest with you, some of these store owners and some of these managers, they don't want anything to do with it. You know, we go to some of these places and we tell them, hey, you know, do this, or try to if you see like this particular person every day, you know what, don't let them into the store. Like you can close your door, and they're like, you know. So we try to convince them as much as we can to work with us to try to prevent it. But some have the mentality, unfortunately, is just it's a loss. I'll keep it. I'll keep on. You know.
Okay. So I want to ask if there's any more questions for Detective Skinner before we move on. Okay. Not hearing anything or seeing any hands. Thank you, Detective Skinner. You can stay if you want to. If you choose not to, happy Gobble Day.
Same to you, everyone. Be safe.
Enjoy.
Be safe, everyone. Enjoy.
Thank you. Okay. Next up is new business. Anyone has any new business? I'm checking. None, but what I would like to do is to kind of let you just give you a quick blurb of the fact that there is a possibility of the self-driving cars coming to New York City. I am in contact with the representative to see if they can do a presentation for us to see what this looks like with having no one driving, a computer, an AI driving inside our district and area. So please look out for that. Any questions pertaining to the self?
Can I ask a question on that?
Sure.
Do you have any idea what the? And I'm sorry, I was looking for the hand raise thing, and I couldn't find
No
it.
worries.
Do you have any idea what the sort of like legal process is ahead of them deploying those, and what? Yeah, sorry, go on.
So the issue right now is that they cannot come because according to New York law, anyone behind a vehicle has to be a human. So because it says that as a New York City law, they cannot come in. So now they're trying to find a way to create an amendment to allow that. Because if the amendment changes and it doesn't reflect saying humans driving behind a steering wheel, it's not a vehicle, but it uses the particular words of driving behind a steering wheel, and it has to be human. If they can find a go around in regards to that, or they can amend that, then they can come into New York City. But as of right now, they cannot come. They are coming to community boards to kind of get us to see whether we would be interested in having something like this. Gotcha. And maybe reach into our elected officials to help them to make amendments to change it so that they can come.
So it's a pretty long, we're talking about a pretty long like battle. They're trying to generate community support before like a legislative approach. Presumably like city council would have to amend. Okay.
Unless the city council still may be involved in saying that they are for it, and then it can change, right?
I feel like this might be, yeah, sorry, go on.
No, so I don't know. So that's why I'm going to have the person come to present. Great. Well, Mr. Daly got them to come, gave me the information to have them come to present to us. So that should be happening in January, February.
Great. Yeah, because I mean, you know, some of where it's been deployed has seen some significant issues, and I don't know, I think there's quite a lot to unpack there. It seems like a really big change to how things move around here. Yeah. So looking forward to that.
I'm in total agreement. So that is the only new business that I have, and I'm not seeing. Okay, Ms. Martinez, I see your hand.
Yes, I have a couple of questions because I am very concerned about that driverless vehicle, because we already have enough crazy humans driving vehicles, and I think some of the testing of these vehicles has not been so successful. So I can't imagine the safety of the residents in this community. How would that affect them?
Because I don't know if they have ever been compared, if they ever experienced a dollar van, you know, like they don't have these things in the other states that they were doing these things. And New York City drivers are very different from anywhere else. You could leave New York and they'll know.
Yeah. So but is it a state law or a city law?
It's a New York City law.
Oh, okay. But I can't imagine that I would be very concerned.
I think we all will be concerned, because we've seen times where there's been several things on TikTok, Instagram, even on the news pertaining to these self-driving cars where they're stuck, they don't know when to turn, they don't follow the rules of the lights that are there, people being stuck in the car, unable to get out. And there's really no customer service to actually be on the grounds to kind of resolve these matters. And then I'm also thinking about parking. Where are you going to put these cars? Where are these cars staying? Where are we storing them? It also concerns about drivers that have the potential of being out of a job. How does this affect our regular taxis and limousine companies?
Probably take away give away more of the parking space like they have to the zip cars for some low fee.
Mm-hmm. So it's just to look out for that. We do have our toy drive that is coming up. Please, if you can attend. Just to let you all know, our next meeting will not be on the day before Christmas. We're pushing it up to December 13th. So look out for that email from Ms. Nadine pertaining to that.
I thought it was 11th.
The 11th?
I don't know. I thought I
It's
read
one of those
something like
days.
that.
Don't quote me on it. Don't quote me. It's either the 11th or the 13th in regards to our meeting, because it's going to be on a Thursday. And in that meeting, that's when DOT will be there to present their new plans, to erase the plans that they had shown us before, and their new plans. According to them, there will be nothing being added to our. There will be no bike lanes being added. No streets are going to be changed. I'm assuming that the meeting is going to kind of discuss more of the daylight intersections, more so than anything. So please be able to attend our meeting on December 13th or 11th. Because your feedback and your input will be greatly appreciated, because I took everything that everyone mentioned in the last meeting and drafted a very detailed list of things and concerns, and from that is where we got this whole new change of a plan, that they're not going to do those new they're not going to install or implement new bike lanes in these areas. Any unfinished business?
Mr. Martinez, again.
Go right ahead.
I had asked you last time about the pedestrian ramp for Mike Herb, but I got my answer yesterday at the meeting because DOT, the guy, our new representative for DOT was there, and apparently my corner is very complicated. They would have to move a light pole. There's not enough space for the ramp on both sides and all of that. So I don't know if it's ever going to happen.
But we can still advocate for it.
Yeah.
We can still advocate. Maybe what we could do in that neighborhood, maybe we can see if over there, if they can do maybe a daylight intersection there. Maybe that could be possible. Maybe that can be an option.
Okay.
So we
No.
can look at that.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I think that's mainly everyone. If you haven't filled out the survey, please fill out that survey. I dropped the link in there. I will send you guys all an email pertaining to the questions for IBX. Mr. Daly, do you want to say anything?
Hi, good afternoon. Yes, let me just first of all, thank you, Chair Aluo, for your meeting. I'm sorry I got on late. I didn't have the links. I had to go through different channels to get the link for tonight's meeting. So just to clarify a couple of comments. One, with Waymo, the autonomous car, it's a state law. So the Department of Transportation Department of Motor Vehicles. There's a state law to change that, not the city law. It has to be a state law. And so they're working. Assemblymember Brian Cunningham is the lead person that is fighting for that, right?
Really?
So right. The second thing is I just want to make sure that everybody. I don't know if you brought it up, Chair Luo. I wasn't here at the onset of your chairwoman's report, which is about December 19th. Did you discuss that?
No.
All right. So December 19th, the Parks and Beautification Committee will be hosting our annual tree lighting ceremony. So we're inviting everyone to come out and participate. It's December 19th at Padgett Park, and then it moves over to PS 198 where they do the gift giving. So come out, come and get your hot chocolate, get your donut. Is on behalf of Councilmember Farrah Lewis. Secondly, our office, Liberty Hall Church of God, as well as the Lucia House, as well as Councilwoman Farrah Lewis' office. We're doing collection for Hurricane Melissa relief. And we're asking anyone who have donation to drop it off, and make sure you state specifically it's for the hurricane relief. Please drop off goods, clothing, unworn clothes, right, or close to new clothes, non-perishables. Can't find the word, but to donate to the people who are suffering from the Caribbean who were impacted by the storm. That's two. Our next board meeting is December 17th. And again, I'm asking people to come out to the board meeting, not just a committee meeting, be participatory in the meeting and in person. Our community board, I remind it every month, is one of the least attended community boards in the city. Not the least, but one of the least attended community boards. So we need people to come out in the community to be able to voice their opinion on issues. If you felt like your voices have not been heard in the past, I guarantee you that as the chair, and you have there is a community session and you are entitled to speak, you're entitled to speak on an issue that's on the voting block. You're just not allowed to vote on it, but you're entitled to speak on it. And I will give you permission to do that, especially issues that are important to you and important to the community that we live in, we work in, we participate in, and we enjoy. On December 2nd, I'm doing another walkthrough of the Con Edison plant. December 2nd at 10 a.m. at Con Edison plant. So if anybody wants to join me, please do so. December 2nd at 10 a.m. If that's not the date, I'm pretty much 100% certain it's the date. So I'm doing another walkthrough. Please come out if you want to ask questions or see what's going on. What am I missing? I feel like, this Sunday, right? This Sunday at Liberty Hall, we'll have a packing day for the distribution of stuff that's going to Jamaica, putting in the barrels, sending off to Jamaica. If you have stuff and you want to drop it off, then Liberty Hall is at 1387 Flatbush, 1387 East 96. It's not in our district, but is when it has participating churches in our district. There'll be a packet event, a press conference, jointly with Assembly Member Monique Chandler Waterman, City Council Member Mercedes Narcisse, Senator Roxanne Prasad, and a few Council Member Chris Banks. So please do come out and support. So that's it. And also wishing everyone a very, very Merry Christmas and looking forward to seeing you at one of these 3 events. The last thing, now that I remember, is December 4th, I believe. I could be wrong with the date. I will double check it. But if you're let me double check that date. I just want to make sure that I give you the right date on that one. December 4th. Nope, not December 4th. Let's try December 11th. I have the date mixed up. All right, so there will be a hide and seek. We'll be having its That's why I'm looking in the wrong month.
Right.
December 4th. Hide and Seek will be having their grand opening. That's 1308 Utica Avenue. That's on behalf of the Commerce Committee. So please do go and come out. Utica Avenue between Avenue D and Foster Avenue. So just come out, show that support. Again, that's 1308 Utica Avenue. Those are my dates. Those are the events that happen on other committees that I am aware of. And if you have something that you want the committee to come out to and the board to come out to, for me to come out to, just shoot an invite and we'll try to get someone there, including myself. Thank you and have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank
Mr.
you, Chair Daly.
Yes, Mr. Tate.
Yeah, just a quick question, because I know at one time they had, for the relief fund, they were only accepting certain things. Could you repeat the items that they are accepting now?
So because this item, this is done not just through the one that's where the Lucia House where they're not accepting food, I am accepting food. So that was the only item that they basically describe, and it's a funny word. The word is pupina, right? So it's a Jamaican word. You could only figure out what that means, pupina, right? So they're saying, don't bring pupina for clothing. As for non-perishables, you can bring canned goods, things that they will eat. Don't bring Chef Boyardee. Don't bring those soup. Don't go into your don't go into your cabinet and oh, I need to get rid of this. Let me bring this. They don't eat it, and it's a waste. So if you're not eating it, neither are they. So let me just put it to you, quite frankly, right? They don't eat the Campbell soup. They don't eat Chef Boyardee and those canned spaghettis. They don't eat that food. So don't bring that, like sardines and salmon and corned beef and spam and baked beans. They eat those things. Cereal, those things, right? And clothing, in terms of, again, don't empty out your closet with things that you wear and the armpits have things underneath it, right? Or the crotches is getting torn out a little. So don't bring those things. Bring close to new, if not new, product.
Yeah, well, like dry beans and canned beans and things like that.
Yeah, dry beans, canned beans, stuff like that. Those are good, especially we love. Jamaicans love rice and peas.
Right.
So if those peas are making the rice and peas, or the lima beans to put in the cold foot and the oxtail, those things are acceptable. Again, if you don't want it, neither do they.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Are there any more questions? Okay, Madam Chair.
All right. I did drop a link. If anyone was impacted by the flooding that occurred maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago, I dropped a link where you can go on to NISM and to report the damage. And if FEMA gives the approval, there's a potential of you getting reimbursed, or they can do the repairs for you. So if anyone was impacted by the flooding, I strongly advise that you report the damage to that link. And if there's nothing else to be said, can I get a motion for an adjournment?
I showed up late to the meeting. Was the Brooklyn Bus Network redesign ever discussed at this particular meeting?
The what?
Brooklyn Bus Network redesign.
No, that was not discussed. What was discussed was the IBX exchange.
Oh, okay. But I want to let you know, as an FYI, that most references to the next iteration of the plan have been removed from the Brooklyn Bus Network redesign webpage. To my knowledge, I attended the committee meeting. They said that it won't be released until the next iteration won't be released until the spring at the earliest. Thank you.
No problem. I'll look into this for you, okay?
Thank you.
No problem. Anything else? Anything else anybody would like to say before we adjourn? Can I please? Yes, Ms. Sylvester.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to know for the event to donate for the Jamaica relief, is that this Sunday?
Mr. Daly?
I was trying to unmute. Sorry. Yes, it's this Sunday at 2:30.
I'm sorry, what's the address again?
1387 East 96 NK. Right down the street from
Thank
Canarsie High
you.
School.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I just want to interrupt for one moment. This is Leonie Logan. If anyone wants to still donate other than Mr. Daly's efforts for the Jamaica relief, you can do so, I believe, up through to December 19th and drop it off at any of the elected officials' offices
Or the precinct.
or the precinct. Thank you.
On Sunday is an event. So it's a press conference, a packing day, and those things are specifically going to areas in Jamaica that we have identified as a committee, not just through the other ones are generally through the consulate. That's why the consulate limits what you can do. I'm not limiting what you can bring. I'm just limiting what they look like, what you bring. Okay, so that's the only difference in the two. And that would be the last day for that. After that, just clothing, generators, medical supplies, things like that are needed for our hospitals. Because as you know, in certain areas, like Middle Quadrant, like Black River, where I'm from, the hospital was completely decimated. Like it's gone. Like there literally is no hospital. They're working out of a bubble. Things like that. And there was no apartment, still no electricity, all that stuff. So generators and lanterns and those things would be very helpful.
So does anyone know of like a website where there's like a list in terms of what's like greatly needed?
So I wish I knew how to upload. Madam Chair, if I send you a flyer right now, 2 flyers, do you know how to upload it so people can see it? All right, so I'm gonna send it to you. I'm sorry. I know you're saying anything else.
It's okay.
But all right, hold on. Let me go back. Let me get out, and I'm gonna send you the flyers. Hold on. So the first one is coming on. The first one is Maureen, I see it.
Are you
The
sending it
first
to my
one,
phone or my email?
I'm sending it to you. The first one I'm forwarding to your WhatsApp. So that's the first one. All right. This is
Okay.
for this Sunday's event. So I'm forwarding that to you. Okay, so now that one just came from the WhatsApp. This one is from Councilmember Farrah Lewis's office. They're a couple, so I'm gonna send you only 3 though.
Okay.
All right, so you don't have to sit there and start sending out a whole bunch of stuff. So this is from Councilmember Farrah Lewis's office, and that's text.
Got it.
Okay, there you go, sent. And this last one is from Assemblymember Monique Chandler Waterman's office. Here we go, right here. Although don't worry about the date, just do the drop off. On the last one that I'm sending you from Assemblymember Monique Chandler Waterman. That one is ongoing and tells you exactly what each person and organization what you can contribute. What I would love is some lanterns. Like there's some lanterns that people need to see in the dark. So if you guys can purchase and deliver some of those lanterns, that would be good. My goal is to get about 100 lanterns to give to the people in St. Elizabeth who are without light. Thank you. And don't worry about the date again, like I said, from the one from Assemblymember Monique Chandler Waterman.
Okay. Just bear with me, guys. I'm trying to copy this and put it into the chat. Okay. Please let me know if you guys see it in the chat.
Not yet. I don't see it yet.
Okay, I'm coming. It's giving me problems now.
Maybe you could forward it over to Ms. Lyons via email. Have her put it up. I don't. She is the staff
Just
person for
bear
the
with
committee,
me.
correct?
But
All right, so
I
maybe
have
you
it
could do
on
that
my
one.
thing. Just bear with me.
Okay, no
Just bear
problem.
with me, guys. Do you see it? Do you guys see that file?
Not yet. The last file I see is from
You should, if
8:45.
you go into, you'll see content, you should be able to see it there. I've added both, all three. It should be there. Do any of you guys see it?
Nope, not seeing it.
I'm not seeing it. The
So
last
I
thing I
just
see
Yeah,
is
trying to download it.
the link to report damage. It's the last thing I see.
Yeah, me too.
so,
That's the same thing I'm seeing.
so it's odd because I just saw a message that said that you shared a file, but then there's
Yeah.
nothing. It says you shared a file, but there's nothing there.
It's when you click on content, it's showing like there is image, but I don't see
Images, right?
downloader.
So
Yeah, it's two.
I'm sorry again, Mr. Luo. Could
gonna make
you
it turn.
ask Ms. Lyons to send it to Ms. Lyons and ask her to forward it to the chat, please? She's supposed to be able to
Okay.
update. Thank you.
We'll do that. Ms. Lyons, can you check your email, please?
Or better yet, she could also send it to the committee as a whole.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that would be best.
Yeah.
Window in the window.
I'll do that. Okay.
I don't
That
remember
will be
Chelsea.
done before the end of the night. If there is nothing else,
I think it's that tree. That one. That one.
Did you call it, Chelsea?
if there's nothing else, can I get an adjournment?
Leonie Logan, motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:58 p.m.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Gabe Holmes, I'm seconding.
Okay, thank you. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone. I know this is late, but thank you for taking the time out to participate, be involved the night before the night before Thanksgiving. If you're cooking, God bless you. Stay well rested. If you're not, I hope your bellies are empty so that you can eat full, and just be safe and take care of one another. Thank you so much. I will have Miss Nadine send out those flyers before the end of in the next few minutes. Okay.
Chair Lua, I would like to just correct you on one thing. You can't have your belly completely empty because it's going to be full of gas. You just need to put a little something in there and save most of the space. All right?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Have a blessed
And
event.
Have a good one.
Thanksgiving, everyone.
I'm available for after. right around Thanksgiving time. So if you cook some good food, feel free to invite me over. I'll stop in, grab a plate, and run out. I'll prepare it. I have no shame in my game. There's no shame in my game.
Okay.
All right.
Good
Take
night,
care.
everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night, everybody.
Good night.
Right.
Miss Lyons, I'm sending you 3 things. Can you please forward that to the group tonight, please? You're breaking up.